Hey, it's your girl Carmel Jean-Francois, owner and founder of CFit Coaching. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another installment of the Sugar Savvy Solution, acclimating the foodie and you to a life beyond sugar. Today, I want to talk about our children. I want to talk about the kiddies. I want to talk about our babies. While I was doing some research so that I can bring to you good people some information and facts about sugar, I came across an article that was talking about kids undergoing bariatric surgery. I was like, what? So, yes, children between the ages of 10 and 19 are undergoing weight loss surgery in order to control their obesity. That blew my mind. And maybe what was most shocking to me about all this is that it's actually celebrated that this is an option for treatment of obesity for children. Yay, we have another treatment option. Let's put them under the knife. Now, we all know and understand that obesity is becoming a greater and greater problem. The CDC, the US Centers for Disease Control, reported that 1 out of every 5 children in America are suffering with obesity. That's 15 million children ages 2 to 19 are suffering with obesity. When I was growing up, maybe one kid in class. Now it's 1 out of every 5 kids. It's a sad fact, but that number is rising. So there is a problem there. That was another thing I discovered when I started looking into how sugar affects our children. Now, with regards to sugar, 21% of children ages 6 to 11 develop cavities in their permanent teeth. Okay, not so surprising. But what's more surprising and even shocking to me was learning that 42% of children ages 2 to 11 have cavities in their baby teeth, their primary teeth, even before the teeth fall out. 9% of kids between the ages of 2 to 5 suffer and experience tooth decay, and 15% between 6 and 11. Tooth decay oftentimes requires dental surgery. So these are children actually having their teeth extracted due to tooth decay before the age of 11. Guys, there's something wrong with this. There's something wrong with this picture. We got to take a better and closer look at what our children are eating, but mostly what they're drinking. Most of the tooth decay is coming from sugary drinks like whatever you want to call it, soft drinks, pop, fizzy drinks, soda, Pepsi, orange soda, purple soda, the grape soda. It's a sad situation. The food industry and the marketing industries, of course, sell to our children, and this is why our children want it, and this is why we feed it to them. But their little teeth are so sensitive, and they drink it so much that it's really causing a problem. Between tooth decay, cavities, bariatric surgery, obesity, there's a lot of things that's wrong with this picture, guys. And again, it's all rooted and stemmed from sugar. I want to talk about fatty liver disease for a minute. About 2.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with fatty liver disease. Well, actually, my liver was in trouble and I was on my way to developing it, and my doctor caught it in time. And it made sense to me because back then I knew that I took in an excess amount of sugar. Excess sugar, refined sugar, high fructose corn syrup, whatever sugar looks like, however it comes. An excess amount of it can lead to a fatty buildup in our bodies, and that fatty buildup can lead to liver disease. So fatty liver disease is something that used to be commonly seen and recognized in people who drink excessively, alcoholics. And now, because of our excess intake of sugar, 1 out of 10 American adults are walking around with fatty liver disease, whether they're overweight or not, and they're not necessarily alcoholics either. It's just all that sugar that we are taking in and asking our liver to process. But what's been happening is our children are coming up with fatty liver disease themselves. It's estimated that 5 to 10% of our children are suffering with fatty liver disease. Guys, that's just as much as asthma. There are about 7 million children affected with this disease, and children reported as young as 2 years old. It's a problem. We see that our children are getting larger. What we don't see so much of is the tooth decay. We can't see fatty liver disease, right? But these things are really plaguing our children, and the numbers are getting higher, and we need to do something about this. And as if that wasn't enough, I think one of the things that touched me or made me even more mad than I already am is reading about how children, our babies, are being affected with type 2 diabetes. When I was a child, my father was diagnosed with adult onset diabetes. That's what they called type 2 diabetes back then. They no longer call it adult onset diabetes because children are getting type 2 diabetes. About 350,000 children under the age of 20 are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Now, the youngest child reported was a 2-year-old child in Texas in 2015, and then a 4-year-old child in 2017 in Canada. Those are the two youngest reports that I was able to find in my research. All the numbers and statistics I'm bringing to you, you can look them up and verify them. They're scary. It's so disturbing. And I just wanted to highlight, just in case it's not in the forefront of people's minds, just in case people really don't know that this is a problem and this is an issue, something we want to get out in front of. Because not only are we setting our children up for years of ridicule, that's the least of their concerns, but we're setting them up for years and years of ill health, of doctor's visits, surgeries, medications, and maybe even shortening their lives. I'm not shaming any parent. This is completely a causation of how the government lines our supermarket shelves and how they market to our children and how they're so effective in making us think that sugar is just sugar, sugar is just a calorie, when it's so much more. The underlying cause of all of that is our sugar intake, or rather the sugar intake of the babies that we're raising. So it's not going to be easy, and I know that, I understand it and acknowledge it. However, we can tackle this and get out in front of it. And it's going to take intention, and it's going to take a very conscious effort, and it will take the family, the community. It takes a community to raise a child. So a few of these things are, maybe you start watering down the children's drinks or swap out water for the drinks. And I chuckle because you take sugar out of a kid's hand, and I know how I was when that happened. It was a no-go, but it's definitely worth the effort. Eat more fruits and vegetables. I was coaching a client, and when she was doing really, really well with her new lifestyle, she ended up just having more fruit around the house. And she found that her children were eating up her fruit, and she didn't know how to feel about it. She didn't know whether or not she should be mad that the kids were taking her fruit, or that she was happy because the kids were taking her fruit. Of course, she was pleased that that's what was happening. And she was also pleased to know that they really liked the fruit. So that's a definite healthier option. So start having more fruit around and see if the children pick those up instead. Start making their favorite foods just a little bit healthier, just a little bit at a time, taking out some of the excess sugar, salt, oil, and see how they react. And if you do it well enough and discreetly enough, they'll never know. Get the children involved in cooking their own meals. And I remember when I used to cook with my mom and bake a cake with mom or whatever, there was a sense of satisfaction knowing that I partook in that meal that we were consuming. So start cooking healthier and have them involved. Have them actually literally put their hands in it and help you cook. Don't insist that the children clean off their plates. Let them eat until they're satiated and say, then that's it. When we tell the children they have to clean everything off their plates, we are inhibiting their sense of satiety, and they learn to ignore it, and it becomes a practice. I know all about it, as I'm sure many of you do too. Serve smaller portions. Let the kids say, I want more. Don't give them so much, and so they're sitting there with all that food and they think that they need to clean off the plate. Incorporate physical exercise, movement during the course of the week. These kids need to play, get off the games, maybe about 30 minutes. Start slow and build it up. 30 minutes to 60 minutes a day, every other day maybe. Make it fun, make it playful. We can all use some movement in our lives. Maybe you enroll in karate together or some kind of a dance fitness class together, and do it together as a family. Make it fun, make it interesting, make it something that the both of you can look forward to. Turn the chores into games. Keep trying new activities, keep trying new things. So that's all I have for you today. It was a lot. It was a lot for me to gather this information and share it. But I urge you, if you know somebody who could benefit from this, share this channel out, share this episode out. Like, comment, subscribe. I would appreciate the feedback and I would appreciate the support. So this is Carmel Jean-Francois bringing you another installment of the Savvy Sugar Solution, acclimating the foodie in you to a life beyond sugar. I'm going to see you next time. Ciao, ciao.